witty comments every time when this thing starts. Yeah, or sing along.
Drop the bass.
Oh yeah! How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of GameSlean TV. It's Thursday night, time for another episode. Guys, this is GameSlean TV for, what is it, August 5th, 2013?
Yep.
August
September 5th.
We're in September.
I agreed with you completely.
August, I'm stuck. We're in September now. September 5th, 2013. Guys, we got a ton of stuff to talk about tonight. Tons of news, tons of stuff going on. If this is your first time joining us tonight, GameSlean TV is a weekly news and review show. Every week we bring you the latest news and review the latest games. So with that said, my name is Chris and I am your host. So let's get started. Introduce the other co-hosts here. To my right, we've got Josh.
Hello.
To his right, we've got Steve.
Hello.
Over on production, we've got Xander.
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
From now on,
X.
we're gonna call him X.
Yeah, you said that
Yeah,
earlier.
Oh, I put
Man.
that in there.
He's got an
Xavier.
actual handle there. So
Professor Xavier.
let's hopefully we can avoid any issues. We had an issue last week.
Yeah,
Well, somebody made some changes. Somebody
Chris.
You
being
flipping
me.
switches?
Yeah, I made some changes.
And say you flipping switches back
I
there?
made
You
some
gonna blow
changes
something?
and we blew up midway through the show, so
Yeah,
that wasn't good.
can't mess with those levels during the show, man.
We can't. Hopefully, we can avoid that. Over on co-production, we've got
Who's over there?
Jeff.
Yeah, still wearing my shirt.
That's all I got.
We relegated him to the dungeon.
And as
There he is.
always, joining us remotely via Skype, we've got Toom.
Todd over here.
Elvis.
Nice
We're
chop.
having
nice
a heat wave,
chops.
but hey Jeff, I just picked this up.
Would you
I'm
Nice.
gonna play that later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know. I knew
job.
you'd be excited.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
Is that the Wii U
Yeah,
game?
Is that, it's
Or
That's
Wii.
just. It's
Isn't that the one that's like
Original
50
Wii.
bucks we just talked about?
no,
Uh,
that was
this
is a
yeah,
better
that was
game.
That was
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade.
Those are
Xenoblade.
similar. They came out around the same time. Did you take that out of the
Same-
shrink wrap yet? Is there some kind of like?
Yeah,
isn't
it
there
came
like
with
an art
yeah, I
book or
did.
something
I mean,
with that?
it came with like an art book and like all this stuff. Like, yeah, there's like an art book and all this other junk that came.
I
with it.
like that one. I wanted to get that.
I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm gonna give this a try later.
Yeah. No, that looks cool. That's another one of those. Add it to the backlog.
Ship
Put
that out.
onto it.
Ship that out when you're done with it, and try it out over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can play when I'm done. That's fine.
Okay, let's get to it. News of the week. Big news this week, guys. Finally, we got a launch date for the Xbox One, November 22nd. November 22nd, the Xbox One is going to arrive, which is exactly a week after the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 is coming out on the 15th.
Second place.
Yeah.
Yeah, second place again, Microsoft. Second place as usual.
Yeah, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's only a week apart.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody who wants to buy one or the other has already decided what they're gonna buy and when they're gonna buy it. So, what are you gonna do? But that's good. It's before Christmas. Everybody's
we'll
gonna.
get a lot of sales
you know.
still. I mean,
You think they'll sell out like the PlayStation 3 did, though?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah,
much. There's
just
so
as
much
much.
hype. There's so much hype behind the PlayStation 4 right now. It's definitely gonna sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you think both of them will sell out, though? You think the Xbox One is going to have
No,
the same...
my-
well, the PlayStation 4 is sold out, so you're gonna.
That's
get,
what I'm saying. It's
it's
already
it's-
sold
it's-
out.
yeah,
Pre-orders
it's already
aren't
gone.
sold out yet. Then I feel like the people who are trying to get like that next gen system, whether it's for their kids or a nephew or something,
Yeah.
you know, they'll just go with the Xbox One then if they can't get the PS4.
Oh,
So I feel
yeah.
like
I
that's-
tell you,
that's
if
true.
I
Yeah,
if I
hadn't
was
thought of
gonna
that,
buy
actually,
it,
yeah.
if I was gonna buy it and I didn't get a PlayStation 4, I honestly think I would feel kind of like,
Now I have to get.
I got the Xbox.
No, I know.
And I don't know why,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
technically it's not that different. There's slightly different hardware architecture, but other than that, it's gonna do the same thing.
I mean, it has a decent launch library from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Both systems are getting Watch Dogs, which I think is going to be a very heavy hitter. And
Right.
Then, you got Rise coming out, so.
And I saw some more footage of Rise, and I was like, hey, this actually looks cooler than I thought. Because I saw as you walk into levels, like the environment kind of slides in on a block and it like forms out.
Yep.
Like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't totally impressed with the game, but then I was like, oh, that's neat. Maybe there's more to it than just hacking and slashing. team kills. Like, I'm not totally into the violence, but whatever.
That's
another story. So.
Rise is the only one that I'm looking forward to at this point. And I'll
But
say,
that's not exclusive, right? Or is it?
It is.
That is
exclusive,
exclusive.
Yeah,
or
yep.
early release?
It's an Xbox One launch title, and it's
Alright.
an Xbox One exclusive.
Okay, so
I'll say this though, as far as at this point, the Xbox One is the Halo box. I'll buy it just for that, but that's a completely different, I think everybody in general is more excited about the PlayStation 4, but there you go. Now we know when they're both coming out. A quick side note to that though, something else they talked about this week a little bit.
call your friends.
Yeah, get your friends over. The Xbox One can have 4 controllers versus the PlayStation 4 is 4 at once. So the question is, like,
You just said 4 versus 4, so it's 8 controllers
8.
Yeah,
versus
but
4.
yeah,
so
but
if you've
twice
got
the friends.
Eight
I don't even
controllers
have
on the
enough
Xbox
friends
Ones,
for that.
Who cares?
Yeah, first of all, who has that many people to come over and play? Whatever game is going to use this functionality.
We were talking about this
Second of
earlier.
all, who's going to be the guy who buys
Oh, yeah.
8 $50 controllers?
And it's always like you buy, like you get the one that the system comes with, and then the rest
Chris
are
will be
like
that
the
guy.
crappy third-party ones that no one
because
wants
nobody
to
wants to
use.
spend full
Yeah.
price on an
And that's what always
actual
happens.
one.
We were talking about this earlier. This would have been cool 10 years ago.
Right, when you had Bomberman.
Now
More
everybody's
than-
connected
more-
to the
no, more than
internet.
10 years
Everybody's
ago, like
online,
Nintendo,
so you don't.
Nintendo 64 days.
don't
This
really
is
need
a
that.
totally a Nintendo thing too, because like if you had Nintendo titles on an Xbox, you'd have Mario Kart, which would make total sense.
Super Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers. What else?
Yeah, Mario Kart with 8
Mario
players
Kart.
on one
Bomberman.
Mario Party.
Yeah.
Bomberman.
You know, the TVs are big enough now. You could get a sizable 8-inch square for 8 boxes going across. And,
Yeah.
You know, you've got a big TV. You've got the resolution. But who's gonna do that? You know, I'd like to see the group of 9-year-old kids. Let's all play this game together. Like, freaking out. You know, like,
Hey, wait,
these
wait, wait,
controllers,
Josh.
everything's gonna be mayhem.
Josh, as you pose this question, there's one person dumb enough to waste this much money on one game, and you know who it is.
My brother.
Absolutely, he's gonna see some game coming out, and he's definitely gonna buy that, and then he's gonna sell it on eBay a week later for half the price.
Oh yeah.
I did it once. I bought that. There was that quiz game. Remember those quiz games that came with
you
the?
don't know Jack.
It wasn't You Don't Know
Jack.
Jack. It was the one you got that controller.
I know,
it had the
I know-
button
I know what you're talking
and the
about.
four colored buttons. I can't remember the name of it. I was like, that'd be cool because I wanted to have something that my wife would play, and she doesn't play video games at all. And I was like, okay. And she did play it for a while. We actually got into it a little bit, but like. There were 4 controllers, and they were all connected to one USB. And it's like the octopus of quiz show.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
they had all these clunky things lying around just
Like
for the two of us.
Multi-taps.
Yeah, there was no multi-tap. It was just you plugged one USB in and it had 4 controllers that came off. Anyway, I think this is a non-issue. Like, who cares really? But
And I seem to remember, doesn't the PlayStation 3 doesn't it support like 7 or some weird number?
yes,
I think the PlayStation 3 supports
you could
more.
do 7. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I don't know. It sounds cool, but and for
We'll
all
just have to
practical
see what
purposes,
games
yeah,
come out
who's-
that'll make you wanna
Who's
do
gonna
that.
let you do that?
Maybe
I'm
they'll
waiting-
have peripheral controllers that are sort of along the lines of the PlayStation. That's why PlayStation has that, because they have the Move controllers. And I
Right.
think each of those pieces operates on a different controller slot. So maybe it'll be something like that, some sort of accessory that goes along with a Kinect, a tracking unit or a bow and arrow Zelda style kind of.
Virtual reality immersion
I
device.
don't know, like ankle weight
Yeah.
things that go on each foot and leg, and
like the Sega Activator or whatever it was.
what was that one?
The
I don't
Octagon.
remember.
Do you remember that one? The one with like the prism, and you stand in it, and you have to like.
Yeah.
punch
Is that
Yes,
the one
and
where
you
it
put
had-
your arms out. Yeah,
Was that
yeah,
the thing
yeah.
that had the
I think it was like
beams
the
and
Eternal
the
Champions or
Oh
whatever.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
I remember
Did
that.
that thing didn't even work?
They never work.
No,
Peripherals
it didn't-
never
it-
work
it-
until the
it didn't
Kinect
work.
came out, and apparently that one works pretty well. But like, and I have it, and I've used it, and it does work fairly well.
Yeah, but it sends all your information to the government.
Well, not the original one, but and apparently not the new one either. So 8 players all at once. Hope you have.
There
a lot
you go.
Of friends.
Xbox
Yeah.
One, November 22nd. Check it out if you're a fan. If you're looking for the new Xbox, there you go. Next news item, guys. Rockstar uses real gang members for the voice
Oh,
work in
yeah,
GTA
boy.
5. You gotta
Yeah,
get that. You
boy.
gotta get that
They got
authenticity.
me.
It's got to be authentic. They didn't. So they
Jeff's
didn't.
throwing gang signs over this way.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to hire just a bunch of typical voice actors to voice gang members.
I think this is not a bad idea because this is a very story-heavy kind of game, right? There's a lot of cinematics.
Yeah, and the
there's a lot
opinion
of
on this
stuff
was
going on.
pretty split. They said, well, I mean, you got to appreciate they're going to get these real types of people to do this, but then everybody else said, well, you shouldn't employ known
Gang
criminals.
members?
I think you should employ people because they're not being criminals.
It gives them something else to do.
It's
Exactly.
it's authentic. It's it's like a second chance. It's opening up a door.
I think it's a good idea.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's opening up a door for them to become a virtual gang member.
Yeah.
Which is way better than being a real.
Than being a real gang member.
Or both.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, from
Sid 6.7.
as long as they can make he's coming out. He's come out of the computer.
Tom's the one that got that joke right away.
I love that.
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
I love that movie.
That movie's awesome. I love that movie.
I
love 90s.
It's
visions of the future.
it's virtuosity for anybody who wants to know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Great film.
It's Russell
Try
Crowe.
again.
Russell Crowe's first movie.
This time faster.
Yeah. Steve knows what we're talking about here.
He just keeps quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. If personally, I think it'll make the game. I think it'll improve the game, but
I think it'll
I can
make it
understand some people don't really agree with that type of decision.
I mean, think about it. A lot of these games are played by probably inner city people who know guys like this. That they're not drug dealers, but they play the video games. They play everything like everybody else does, and they're playing them going, this guy who's talking to some stuff. He doesn't sound right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now when they play it, they'll be like, oh, that's my friend
it gives it
from
some,
I know this guy.
It gives it some credibility. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they can identify with it. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know. Give people jobs that are not shooting other people in the street. That's what I say.
See, I think this is kind of a side question. So if the developers employed certain members of certain gangs, but they didn't employ certain members of other gangs, does that make them a target for gang retaliation?
I
Because
don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see the day that the two different gangs show up in the same studio.
Unless
be
they
a
were
nightmare.
saying
Former gang members.
unless they were saying questionable things about the other gang in the game.
No, it's
then,
all
yeah.
fake gangs, I imagine, right?
They're just saying all this stuff that actually happened, giving away details to crimes.
Well, Jeff was saying that they threw the script out after a little while, right?
Yeah, because they laughed at it and they were like they were saying in a
don't talk like this.
Yeah, we wouldn't say this.
The way the writers had originally sketched it out, they
The
said,
writers
no,
who are
this is-
not inner city
this
dudes
is-
at
yeah,
all,
this is
most
not-
likely.
This is not how I
From
would say this. It's
freaking
not how we talk.
Brentwood and Connecticut.
23-year-old just graduated college intern that wrote the script of this game.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. And in this situation, I think they would talk this way about
Say, hey,
100
look, playa.
Yeah, hey, homies, I've got
I
the
don't
cocaine.
even know what the gang members of the
I
West Coast would
drove
sound
by
like.
Compton once.
You did?
I feel
I
like
drove
could-
into
Oh,
Compton,
boy.
turned around,
Wow.
and came back because
Really?
we got on the wrong bridge. We went over the wrong bridge across the bay. I'm like, oh, we're in Compton. I was like, ugh.
Go through. You'd be fine.
Turn around,
You'd
come
be
back.
fine.
I'm sure it was.
Jeff's from the mean streets of Medway. He knows.
Oh, yeah.
Mean streets.
The mean streets of Medway. He
Grand
knows.
Theft Auto
He knows all
5.
about
There's
it.
a curfew,
We're getting
man.
close. September 15th.
Yep.
Check it out. It's coming soon.
Now with authentic voice acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, now with 100% more gang.
What's
What
next?
is this? Oh yeah, this is I thought I had a skip here, but no. So KG Inafune's Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter went up this week.
I'm excited.
So the renowned creator and developer of Mega Man, he did I think almost all of them, I believe. He did all the mainline ones.
Well, it
not the
obviously
spin-offs.
looks like they're making another Mega Man that isn't
So-
Mega Man because it's the
He
same
did.
artwork
This is
did all the- he
essentially
did all the
Mega
cla-
Man with a modern twist on
with a
it.
visor.
Yeah.
I mean, they call it 9. What's that? Well, of course, they had Mega Man 10, right?
Well, no,
This
it's
is
number
the-
9.
this is
'cause
the
I think,
ninth robot
The quote
ever.
unquote robot masters he's gonna fight are number 1, number 2. It's
Yeah, it
basically-
ties into the plot.
you read
It's
the
an
Kick-
alternate Mega Man,
Yeah,
right?
the story's
Basically,
just like
yeah.
the first Mega Man. They're utility robots that have from training in a robot arena
Yeah,
became evil,
yeah.
and now he has to stop them.
And then and he fights for what? Dr. Beam?
No,
Dr.
these
Light
shiny-
beam.
this looks cool. I mean that looks interesting. I'm not
Yeah,
the
the
biggest,
art looks good. I like
I'm not
the
the
art.
biggest fan of
That's
Mega Man,
the-
but
yeah,
that
but
looks
that-
alright.
I
only-
love Mega Man, but I was terrible at it. I'm still terrible at it. It's a hard game. the play of Mega Man I always felt was so limited, where you could only get guys above if you jumped.
It's hard as hell.
He jumped the wrong way.
You got to use the different weapons. Mega Man 1's the hardest one. Mega Man 2 is my favorite, but it's definitely super easy. What you got to do is you got to beat Metal.
There's a pattern, but
and
even
then
just beating the
easy
regular
mode.
guys, it can be tough because they're up on a higher level. You got to jump just the right amount. And
I'm excited for this one. It's
this
awesome
looks like
because
maybe it'll be a little easier.
this has been out for 5 days, and he's already well past the goal. So now they're just going for stretch goals at this point.
What's the goal? 100?
It was 900,000. They're at 1.5 million at this point.
Yeah, so
Can't
he
imagine
he
that
asked
would
for
be
just
enough,
under
but-
$1 million. Yeah.
Whoa.
They're at $1.5 million. They're getting crazy over there.
I like this whole Kickstarter thing. I think it's cool. I like it when people get in there and start making the games that they
I'm
want
still
to
waiting
make.
for some of the bigger Kickstarter projects, so this one's on the list. I mean, we
Yeah.
got Shadowrun coming out. That was cool.
Yep.
We got a few. There's some RPGs coming out, and
really?
we got Tim Schafer's adventure game. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see more of these games. This one's not supposed to come out until
Was that Sega one a while ago? Was that a Kickstarter? There was a Sega game. Oh, I can't remember what it is. Never mind. It's not sidetrack.
You got
Right.
me.
I thought I had it, and then I was like, oh, I can't remember. So
Somebody.
there was a Sega cartridge.
Usually when you're
game.
talking about Sega
Wait.
these days, you're talking about disappointment.
It's
So-
a Sega. It
Yeah.
was a Sega Genesis game that you could play
Oh,
on an
alright.
emulator. It was a brand new game. I think you could play it on the yeah. It was like a new cartridge, brand new, and you could play it on Genesis.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it. I have it.
Was
and
it Sonic?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was an RPG. It was Chrono Trigger style kind of game, and I have it, and I just cannot think of the name of it for the life of me. And there's an HD version coming out for the major consoles. But
course.
more on that in future episode.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, this next news item is actually pretty crazy. You guys may have heard about this, but earlier this week, guys, the Hynix memory factory in China burned to the ground.
We don't need no
Or
water.
mostly burned. Look at this crap. Oh, so it's caused by a chemical explosion. But yeah,
Right.
this place, I think they were still trying to figure out if there were any casualties for this. But yeah, this whole place is dust. They're not producing anything out of this place anymore.
That's what happens when you overclock. Look at this.
Exactly.
That's Xander's best joke yet.
The whole place was destroyed.
They overclocked the entire
Overclocking.
factory.
So this is a big hit to the supply chain. Now Hynix produces memory that goes into they
Everything.
Here,
yeah, they
15%.
produce chips for Apple. They produce chips and they're taught here.
I
in this
replaced
case,
theirs on my laptop. I put
The,
something else in, but
Was it the
the
DRAM? or
DRAM.
the-
Now, what's
yeah,
the DRAM doing? I haven't built a computer in forever, so there's a lot of new RAM these days that I'm not totally sure of. So what's the DRAM do on the Xbox?
Oh, it says GDDR5 as well.
Okay.
So
They make all that shit.
so yeah, so
They
well, it's
make
pretty much
everything.
most
They make
types
RAM,
of memory.
basically,
So
Yeah.
yeah, this is bad. This is a big hit to the supply chain. So now this could potentially cause delays. I mean, I'm sure.
I'm sure those units are already
Yeah,
built.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm sure
Yeah.
the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One have been in production for a while now.
But
so
this will affect prices in the future. For
in
a
the
little
future,
while.
definitely. So for
Yeah.
the launch, there should be plenty of consoles. They're probably gonna have their allocation, but this is gonna affect production.
Right.
In the coming months and into
Right.
early next year, I'd say. So
There's other
there you go.
companies that do manufacture similar chips though. Like I know SanDisk stock went up because of this, and some other company too.
Well,
So, I mean,
there's the storage media though. They don't do.
There are-
Do they do
I know that-
active
yeah,
memory?
But I
kind
know
of
they
stuff?
I read that their stock indirectly went up, and some other company's stock went up. So I think that there's other
So
companies
maybe
that
they
also
do
make.
the same thing.
there are.
Yeah, I think-
it's just
Oh, there's always more
Hynix
than
is one of the big players, though.
Yeah.
So anytime you have one of these types of disasters like this, it's gonna affect the entire
right,
market.
right.
I think DRAM prices have been falling a lot for a while now. So
Yeah.
maybe
That's what they're
get
trying to
back
do. They're just
normal.
trying to get their profits up. Somebody set that thing.
Yeah, don't play with chemicals unless you know what you're doing, kids.
Don't overclock.
Or you'll blow the
This is
factory
what
up.
happens when you
don't overclock unless
a
you know
good
what
one.
you're doing.
I like that one.
Oh gosh. All right, and to wrap things up for the news here, guys, there's been you may have heard about this one as well. Steve Ballmer, the CEO of Microsoft, announced he's going to step down as CEO within the next year, so they're going to be looking for his successor.
I don't think anybody's
And now,
worried about
of course,
Yeah, I know
one of
nobody
the
wants that.
unwritten rules of the internet is that if you put up a poll, Gabe Newell will win it. So here you go.
And
Here's
he
your
won it.
poll.
There-
Who won it?
And I wonder who
They
won.
did a poll about who should be the next
Whoa,
Microsoft
wow.
CEO. There
you know
he
what?
is.
I hope he doesn't take the job because he still hasn't made friggin' Half-Life 3 yet.
For the 3?
You know what? I'm willing to bet though that's not totally his fault.
I'm sure it's not. Well, they're trying to make the box now. What is it?
The Steam box.
Steam box, which is such a strange concept. We should maybe talk about that on another show.
Yeah, if it actually comes out, we'll touch on it.
But that's weird. It's like it's not going to be contained into one proprietary unit. It's going to be Steam box for anything.
Yeah.
You can put it on anything.
Didn't
So
they
I don't
say
know,
they
I'm
were going to
confused.
allow different manufacturers or different OEMs to build their own version of it?
Yeah, so I don't know. That's another story, but I think he's a cool guy. It would be nice that he runs a company like Microsoft, but I doubt that's ever going to happen because Microsoft is an old-fashioned company.
It absolutely will not happen.
They're going to get some other weird old guy like Steve Ballmer or whatever. Bill Gates is not coming back. He says, "I'm going to save the world and make."
Yeah, he's too busy donating the rest of his money to humanitarian efforts these days, so he's definitely never coming back.
Right.
One of the comments I read said it's a good thing Matrick left because, I don't know if he would have been considered for CEO, but with Ballmer stepping down, it's conceivable that Matrick could have been in the running for that. And a lot of the guys on GAF were like, that would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
Having Matrick in charge.
That
of the
company's
entire...
so weird anyway. Like Microsoft is such a strange company because a lot of people who watch our show will think of Xbox, but they make everything.
Yeah, that's not where
they own.
The Xbox division is not where they make their bread and butter.
I think it is where they make their money because they're so well. Maybe not their.
Trust me,
they make it in servers.
Windows,
I know they
it's
own
Windows
servers.
and Microsoft Office.
Well, they're not making any money in Windows right now. I tell you that. Nobody likes. Like do you even like Windows 8?
Everybody's switching over to Apple. Like it's Apple everything the past couple of years. Like
they're playing catch up with Apple as far as their hardware.
Yeah.
But in their stores, I've been in their stores. I don't know. First of all, it's like you're gonna go and buy a car that has. Like it's like trying to convince a guy that a Hyundai is a really good high-class car now.
What's wrong with that?
For who knows how long, they've had bugs and problems, and it's like the only thing you get, it comes with everything. It's like virus-ridden, and now they're trying, we're just like Apple, and it's like, I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
F it.
What?
Yeah, Microsoft, F it.
All right.
All right.
On that note, that's going to wrap up our
Sorry.
news.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I get all worked up.
We should check some numbers on that because I'm pretty sure that's the Xbox division.
What my point was going to be is that they're such a strange company because they've got Xbox, they've got Windows, they've got Microsoft servers, and the servers, they own like all the servers that anything is operating on apparently in the United States. And then, they've got whatever else there were, their phones now and things like that, but none of them work together. It's not cohesive. So that's why it's such a strange company, and I don't envy the guy who gets that job. Is what basically I was getting to. I doubt that Gabe Newell wants to deal with that situation.
There's no way. We should look at some numbers though, because
that's what I was trying to say before I ranted.
I want to say I'm pretty sure the Xbox division is a footnote in the rest of their portfolio.
No, I don't know. I'd say it's a third.
It's Windows and Office.
Yeah.
I think they are increasingly making more money off Xbox though. Maybe not in the beginning.
Here's a fact I saw the other day.
They won't be when the Xbox One launches and gets steamrolled by the PlayStation 4.
Well, we don't know. That remains to be seen. But the people who buy these things, at least at first, they're the ones who are going to make the decision. But I saw a poll the other day because Microsoft has been doing the tablet thing and all that stuff. And apparently in the same amount of time that Microsoft sold 1.7 million tablets, Apple sold 57 million. So they're trying. But I don't know if it's going to be enough,
I wonder how many Kindles sold during that time period.
3.
They were all bought by members of the Carrot family.
I don't know. I mean, even people who
I have a Nook actually.
I don't know. I think the Kindle's a great thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I can't imagine that people are buying them anymore because everybody's buying iPads. It's just
I've read reviews on the Kindle. They say it's very competitive. So
it is. I've seen it. I've used it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different story.
Yeah. Let's
new show.
I'll say this. I'll say this one last thing, and let's leave it at this. And I've caught a good amount of heat for saying this before too. Is that, and this applies to the Xbox division as well. Is that Microsoft has always been a software company. They're not a hardware company, and they should stick. Software is what they do best, so they should stick to that. That applies to the Xbox a little bit, but I've heard many differing opinions on that.
Yeah, maybe that's why they keep them all separate, because Xbox, since it came out, has been a pretty decent system, right? I mean, since the first
Yeah,
Xbox.
It's always
They
been
laid the
buggy. All their
groundwork with the
systems have
first
been
one, and the
buggy.
360 really
That's
took
why I
off.
don't think that the third one is going to be bad, but it's just going to have trouble at first because everybody wants a PlayStation.
We got a Robbie709 in the chat here saying Microsoft's been talking about supporting the 360 until 2016.
Wow.
Supposedly they're releasing like 100 titles for it up until then.
Wow.
If all the 360s don't red ring by then.
Yeah, right.
Well, the new ones are supposed to not have that
the new
problem,
ones are
right?
good.
Mine
but
lasted
that-
a good 2 years, and then I had
Well, they're
to send it
probably
away.
factoring in that the new ones will, the new systems will overclock and burn your house down. So all you're going to be able to afford is a 360.
Let's turn your house into a Hynix factory.
That could also be it. All right, well, we got to wrap up. Let's move on. Our game this week is Rayman Legends.
Yeah,
Ramen.
Remen.
This game was actually excellent. I will preface everything by saying, I'm not a huge fan of platformers. The last platformer I played was Super Paper Mario.
Oh.
And I haven't played any of the other Rayman games at length, but I started playing this one, and this Rayman game was awesome.
I'd say the same thing. I
Very, very
didn't play
good.
the older ones really. I played 3 a little bit just recently to get an idea of it because I remember when they came out, but I don't remember what was the original one, the first one on. You guys remember? Jeff, do you know?
It was
PlayStation
on
1.
Yeah, it was
PlayStation.
on PC,
PC port.
PlayStation.
And was it side scroll platform? Okay, that's
Yeah,
what I
same-
remember.
same-
And
same
then
deal.
I
I think it
played
was on
3
the
and it was
3DO and stuff.
Yeah.
All those
okay.
like older
I played
ones.
the 3 on my Xbox just to get an idea of like more of the universe, and it was like this 3D, third person perspective, and I was like, no. But I was playing up until this game came out. I played Origins, and I know it's a little bit late because it came out last year, but I was excited. I was like, this game's great, and I got completely hooked. And then we reviewed this one, and I played the demo, and I was like, holy crap, they made it even better.
It was really surprising. I have never actually played a Rayman game at all.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I'm aware of them. I think the first one came out for 3DO first, and then it was ported to PlayStation.
Okay.
But I was never interested in it. And then I played this because I knew we were going to talk about it, obviously, and it was awesome. Like, I was really, really surprised as to how good it was.
Totally hooked you right away. Artwork
Yeah,
is
it's good.
great. Jeff's gonna say something. He's winding up.
Yeah,
You
let's
gonna say something?
I can see him winding up because I want to hear what you have to say because I know you like the platformers anyway.
let's run down the categories though. Graphics. Start with the graphics. It's a platformer. Everything's 2D. The graphics are awesome.
Yeah, they go way beyond a regular platform.
The
game.
art style is very, very good.
Clean. It looks like you're just watching a cartoon.
Yep,
you know?
the
It's very,
animations are
it's very,
top-notch.
it's very polished, like
Oh, yeah.
extremely polished.
Yeah. Great color palette. Everything.
Yeah, very
We
good.
got here.
Do we have footage?
Let's just
Of
cut
this
to Crystal.
game,
Mark.
This game.
There we go.
There it is.
All right, cool. So yeah, this gives you an idea of what we're talking about here.
You got a lot going on too. You're not just jumping platform to platform, side to side. You've got your little I can't remember this guy's name, but
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah.
You've got him assisting you here and there. You can play multiplayer, which I would love to try.
I didn't play the
multiple
I
guys.
didn't play the multiplayer. I only played the single player
Yeah,
game.
but you can get like 4 people on the screen at the same time. Too bad it's not on Xbox One. All 8 of you could play.
They would have had 8 players for it.
Yeah, maybe this is
Yeah,
another game
but
you could use that.
but if you have an Xbox One at launch, you don't have 8 friends.
No. Yeah, it's true.
So yeah.
Sergeant Ski says it looks like Booger Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it does look like it does look a lot like
Oh,
Booger.
there you go.
Really, dude.
Yeah, I liked that you could get Murphy to do things like get the big guys. Like I saw that big guy coming up, and I'm like, wow, how am I gonna beat that guy? And they're like, use Murphy to tickle him. I'm like,
tickle him.
all right, sure. Whack.
It's kind of cool too because you're like kind of using like 2 different parts of the controller.
Yeah.
Like you're controlling
I
2
really-
characters at once.
Yeah, yeah. I really felt like I was kind of
Yeah.
like all over the place. It was
It's
nice.
cool. It adds like a little bit more
It's
challenge.
fast action, satisfying sound effects.
There's
If
lots
you're
of
gonna take
since we're still on the subject of graphics here, let's not deviate too much. There's a lot of like background current like platform and then background foreground interaction. Like
Right.
you're always going in
Yeah,
between.
like you see like the fox and the
Yeah, yeah.
spider,
There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
on
you got
screen.
the
It's
spiders
great.
kind of hanging out. Yeah, like Steve said, that fox. You get the spider webs. Even the fire kind of looks like it's more in the foreground.
Oh
It
yeah,
adds
yeah.
a lot of,
I
like,
hadn't
depth
thought
to,
about
like,
that,
the
but yeah,
level.
you're right.
Here's
It's really busy.
Here's something
Some of
I
these
also
parts,
like
yeah.
versus the Origins version. In that portion you just saw when you filled up with the Electoons, You can't speed that up in Origins, and you can in this one. I was so
Oh,
happy
that's why
about
they
that.
did that?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I was really happy. I'm like,
I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I could see how that would have been annoying.
Oh,
having
God,
to do
there
that
are
every time.
tons of levels in these games. Tons. I'm almost through Origins, and I've still got another couple hours to play.
It's like 300 levels.
Oh, God, there's tons.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's definitely satisfying to have that much to do in it, though.
And
it doesn't get boring.
You would think with that many levels and like mini games that it would start to get repetitive
No,
and
and then they
tedious.
have Ghost Mode, and you go back, and
Yeah.
this is Origins again. They probably have the same thing for this one, and you try to beat your time, try to get all the guys. If you miss Electoons, the more Electoons you get, the bonuses, you can add bonuses and things like that. Yeah, this
Lots of
game's
things,
fun.
lots of things to unlock, lots of mini games.
Yeah.
The main story, the main quest is really good. It's really varied. It was very surprising to me how good and addictive this game was.
Yeah.
All right, so then to close out graphics, then we got off there, but
Yeah.
we can get back. Yeah, they turned him into a duck here. Yeah, I mean, like we said, the animations are great, the graphics are very good. I think there's a fair amount of 2D games that come out these days, but this one's pretty top shelf.
Yeah.
I mean this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's clear that they put effort into this and making the visuals look as good as they could, and that's what we've got here.
Right.
And it's distinctive as well. Like I mean,
Yes.
there's a difference between being polished and also being distinctive.
Yeah.
And this game kind of pulls it all together.
It has a very unique art style.
Yep.
Which makes it stand out with all like the other 2D games that have been coming out. So.
Yeah. And they totally they go all out with it. It's not in any way like kind of pieced together with any. They don't try to pull any gimmicks like when they're not doing like 3D. It's just they use depth in the system, but it's still a 2D game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have easily just rehashed a lot of the same concepts and made this very budget.
Yeah.
But I mean, they people who made this game clearly have a great love for the franchise and the fans, and they really went for it.
Right.
So it really shows in the finished product.
Finally, something for the fans.
And
Yeah,
then
finally,
I guess when are we
something
gonna
for the
go to next?
fans.
Sound.
Yeah. Let's hop over to sound.
Oh, you
now.
talk about sound. You can't. You have to mention
We'll go the music.
the music
We'll
levels.
go to the music first of all here on sound. Now the music is awesome. It's got that classic orchestral soundtrack. The fanfare music that plays when you do certain things or when you
Yep.
finish a level. That was all awesome.
Yep.
And then there's even like at the end of each world, there's a music themed level where you'll go
Which
through
are
and
crazy.
like the jumps and certain things you do are all timed to the music. And like playing that, the first one of those I went through was like I finished a level and I was like, what the hell did I just play?
Yeah.
It was
That's kind of like what sold the game.
very
Oh,
very
yeah.
very well done.
Totally
Yeah.
hooks you. It's not hard enough to not want to keep trying again if you mess it up.
The
You
Black
know.
Betty level is what you guys are referring to.
Oh yeah, that level. I first played this game at a Best Buy on the demo. I was like, oh, this new Rayman game, and like that was a demo level, and I was just like, whoa, like was not expecting that. Like this
Yeah.
fast-paced like level you're going through, like
All the
your
characters are involved
Yeah,
in the
they're
chorus.
all timed up with like the music and everything. It was awesome. I mean,
you
and
missed
not
that
even just the
bonus right
music
there.
levels though. The soundtrack itself was awesome. Like it had
yeah.
almost like a cool like epic like fantasy soundtrack for some of the bits of it. Like
Yeah.
the first like world you're in is kind of like a typical like sword and sorcery like castle level.
Yeah.
But like the music's fitting and it really helped like move you along on the game because it was a good soundtrack.
Yeah. And they each level will have a different sort of theme, and the music will kind of go with that. And they did that with Origins as well. Like
Right.
You're inside like the Mexican food
Yeah,
level,
you got some of
and it's
the
like
voice acting. There's-
Mexican sort of parade.
You get some limited voice acting too, which is awesome because in the Mexican theme level, there's a level you get chased by a giant luchador wrestler, and he
Right.
just runs
Oh, yeah,
at
and he's
you
shouting
and
at
go
you the whole time,
luchador. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, that was good. The only other thing really to talk about there would be the sound effects, and the effects are great. There's the one that stands out for me is when you have what's the character's name, Murphy. Sometimes when you walk up to things, he's got to slap enemies or he's got to slap other things, and like the slap sound is just great when he's hitting stuff.
Yeah.
So high marks all around for the sound. The sound in this game is very very good.
Yeah, I agree.
Very
Very well done.
Moving on to gameplay, we kind of touched on it a little bit here, but again, I don't play too many platformers. But
You guys played this on a
this one
PC.
was
How did
awesome.
that? How did you play it? Did you play it with a keyboard?
It
or-
was okay. I played with the keyboard, and some of the stuff is a little bit tricky because you have to use you got to use the W key to control Murphy, and you're using
Right.
you're using the arrow keys and the space bar to control Rayman or your other character. And some of that got a little tricky, but overall not too bad.
I also played the PC version. I actually have a Logitech controller, and I like platformers a lot. Like ever since I grew up with Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I loved all the Donkey Kong Countries, the Marios, all the classics. I really liked, and I like the fact that they're bringing back some of these classic style 2D platformers. This game went above and beyond though, because obviously, like I said, I played that music level, really sold me on it.
Who's playing this game?
Yeah, whoever's playing on the screen, no good.
Yeah.
That's what you get for using a keyboard, Chris.
I know.
No, it's not. Trust me, this isn't me.
You should enter the code, Chris. IDKFA.
Yeah, I need the cheat codes. But so I started playing it though, and I was like, "Oh, the music levels are cool."
No, guys, trust me, this isn't me. This is borrowed footage.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. It's not you. Chris.
Sure.
Sure.
That was a good
I
death.
played
They
it
just
on
jumped
three-
straight into it.
I played on 360, and I felt it was very fluid, very easy to control. I think
Yeah.
it's definitely
it's
more of a
more of a
controller.
console game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have a controller, I mean, I feel like it would work well
Yeah,
on PC.
If you're gonna play this on a computer, definitely hook it up.
Yeah, if
to
you're
a
gonna
controller.
if you play it on a computer, either
Do
get
it
the
right.
software to use your PlayStation 3 controller, or plug in your Xbox 360 controller, or get I have a $20 Logitech controller. It works
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yep.
What I liked about this game, though, as far as gameplay, is I started playing it, and it starts out like a typical platformer. You get that music level, but as you progress, the levels just get you get levels where you're being, like I said, there's a level you're getting chased by a giant luchador.
Yeah.
There's levels where you're just running really fast, and you just have to keep up with the pace, and it mixes it up. This level right here, you jump in these horns, you turn really small, and you can jump into the rotten.
They did
fruit.
that with Origins as well.
Yeah, a lot of
it
lot
gets
of
more and
variety.
more involved and dynamic as you play through.
It's great. Even one of
They
the
get
later
harder.
levels, you get the levels like a labyrinth you go through, and you actually fight a minotaur at the end. It's very cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of different things to do. It's never just the same old over and over again, just with a new coat of paint. Each level offers some sort of variety and something different, and that's what kept me going on the game.
This is a good game.
It is fantastic.
I was totally surprised at how good it was going to be because, like I said, I have Origins and I like it a lot, and I'm still playing it, but this is way better.
This is
Yeah,
he
I-
died
guy
there before too. Yeah,
He's not an exemplary player.
He's
for this
not making use of the controls here. I played it for PlayStation 3, and I think the thing that I'm not crazy about platformers either, but I mean the thing that makes a platformer for me is how tight and responsive the controls are. And this game
Right.
definitely. I mean, I didn't play it for a PC or a
He
computer or
does this
anything.
again.
So
There he
it's
goes. He made it.
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean the
Going for the
game the
bonus.
the game is very tight and it controls very well.
Yep,
You get the teensy in that watermelon.
that's right. You got to collect
Oh
all
yeah,
those
you
guys.
can when you're small, you can run up and go underneath and stuff. You
And
can
you
go up on the
also have
ceiling.
you have bonus powers when you're little. You can jump and then punch jump
right and
up
do that
to go
attack
higher.
you just did. Yeah.
Yeah, which sometimes makes it harder because you think you're going to act one way, like when he's regular size, the dynamic is different. And then when you're small, you think you're just I'm gonna jump over here, and then all of a sudden you just punch through a guy, and you're like, no.
Oh
So
right. You get
it
confused.
changes as the game goes, and you have to adjust your play style as the levels progress, depending on which level you're in, what sort of enemy you're going against. The object to get the better portions of the game, to get, I guess, a higher score, is you collect more Electoons, and by really paying attention to levels and going back and
Yeah, each level has a lot of little nooks and crannies,
Yep.
secret areas to get all the where the Electoons are the little yellow guys, almost
Yep.
almost like the coins in Mario.
basically like rings or coins. Yeah.
And but then you also collect. There's the teensies, the little blue guys. There's 8
Yep.
of them in the level. There's
Yep.
8 regular ones. Then there's a king and a queen, which are always on little side bonus rooms each level.
Right.
And a lot of them are always hidden away like that.
You
guy,
have to listen to the sound for the "help me"
And-
to know that they're somewhere near where you are. And
Right,
then you
yeah.
Track them down.
It's awesome because you have to explore a little bit, but the levels themselves, when you're just going through, they have a nice pace to it too. It's not just walk through, jump on a guy's head, jump over the pit.
Right.
some of these levels are paced like really quick, so
Yep.
you're using a lot of reflexes, and you're constantly moving and like wall jumping and sliding, and right when you run up the wall, and love it, awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, look, like the
This is-
obstacles here,
this
like
is
you
a
were saying
tough-
with the reflexes.
Yeah.
Even right here, you gotta dodge the knives, you gotta run up the wall.
And
This
then
guy's
there's
gonna
even
die
just like
again.
small challenges, like when what are the name of those, like the coins, basically, like those little flies.
Looms, right?
Loom, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Lumps.
if you have to get them in like a certain order, and like if you get them in
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
correct
say that.
order, like they're like double the points pretty
Yeah.
much.
They have that in the like again Origins, because this is really just Origins better. But,
Yeah, but like right here, like the pink. If you get like the pink one,
You
and
gotta do
keep
them in
going,
order, right.
You get more points, and like I don't know, it's kind of cool. Like where it's like you don't have to do that, but you know there's a benefit to it.
yeah,
and-
you get twice as many for
Yeah,
each
and-
one.
I don't know. It's just cool. It's like little like challenges and.
Timed levels and stuff like that.
Yeah, the more you play too, more levels unlock. Like you'll play through the game, and then you'll get like time trial levels that unlock that are like, they're called invasion levels, where you have to get through, and you have like 60 seconds to get through, and after like the 40-minute mark, you can only get 2 Teensies. After like 50, then there's only one left, and if you don't get to the end in 60 seconds, then all the Teensies are gone. You got to restart it.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And those levels were awesome because when I saw it, I was like, oh, an invasion level, is it just like a rehash of the same level because they're attached to certain stages? But it's like, it's the same level theme, but it's its own level, and it's built around being a time trial where you just gotta
Right.
move. It's like, it does a little countdown. It's like 3, 2, 1, go, and you move, and you just gotta.
Oh, those levels are awesome, and
keep
you
up
just
with-
keep
yeah.
trying over and over, and like I tried. There was one of those in the demo too, and I tried.
Yeah,
so
you
many
gotta keep
times.
moving, and there's levels like that too where you're gonna, because there's multiple. You can be Rayman in the game, but you can unlock different characters. They all play the same, but they're different.
Yeah.
Like they just look different. It's
Yeah.
add some variety.
Glowbox is hilarious. Like when he grabs onto a ledge, he hangs on with his upper lip.
Yeah.
and hooks it around.
But to unlock a lot
giant
of the
frog.
characters, there's like rescue missions, and those like are a lot of variety too. Like those, you know, some of them. There's a few of them where they're like ninja challenge levels where you have to like break the floating like loom balls that like float in the air, and then you just have to go through like really quick and like keep up with the time. So it's like paced like really quick where you use a lot of reflexes to go through. So like I said, all the levels have some sort of variety to it, so it never got old for me.
Yep.
You missed the secret
Excellent
spot there.
game.
Yeah, there we go.
Totally worth playing.
So should we go to the
Very,
score?
very good. Yep. Let's.
How do we score
Let's
this
put
guy?
the scorecard up.
Let's
put
do
the-
it.
There's Chris again.
Let's put the scorecard up and get our overall. So here we go. Buy across the board. If you're interested in
Yeah.
platformers at all, you need to buy this game.
Yep. Even if you
Right.
don't play him a lot, you'd probably like it. You know.
Like all of us said, like most of us haven't played Rayman, and we're all saying to buy it.
Yeah.
It-
Excellent
Yeah,
game.
it was really good.
Fantastic.
And if you don't want to buy it, definitely a rent or a borrow.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else you know might have it, or you can rent it.
Lot of
Borrow it
lot
from
of
them.
time you can put into it. It's satisfying. Definitely
Yeah.
worth
Yeah,
it.
can't reinforce that statement enough. There's a lot to play in this game.
Yeah. You
Um,
can leave it for a while, come back to it later. You know, definitely worth.
There's a
keeping.
lot of collectibles, a lot of things you can unlock. A lot of the levels, I've gone back and played a bunch of the levels multiple times just because they're really fun.
Yeah.
And I haven't even hit, like, there's a lot of bonus levels you can unlock. Actually, Josh keeps talking about Origins. You can actually unlock like 40 levels from the game Origins that are remixed for this game. So there's a lot there to play. So
Yeah.
you're getting your money's worth anyways, and everything's fun in it. I wasn't bored once playing this game.
And for old guys like me who have children, you can totally play this game with them in the room. Not offensive.
Yes, kid approved.
You can-
The kid approved. I have to mention that.
You can
because I
encourage
think
you
it's
can
worth
encourage them to even play this game. It's appropriate for everybody.
it. Yeah. So anyway.
Yep.
No
okay,
dad's playing. Get out of here.
So there you go, guys. That is Rayman Legends. And I think that's going to do it for us, guys. Check out our YouTube channel coming soon because we're going to have reviews of that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows game. And we're also going to do a review of Paper Please. So be looking, or
Best
Pa-
game
Paper
this
Please.
year.
Yeah,
Game of
comrades.
the year.
So be on the lookout for that on our YouTube channel. Guys, like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at GameSlean. Any other final remarks?
Papers, please. Watch for it. Get it.
Our review for that's going to be
Yeah.
good.
Get out there
Guys,
and play
Watch our review.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Keep playing. And we'll see you next time on GameSlean.
What's that in French?